The so then, like I said, Derek Wise was the barber at A&M. He's the one who he had known Nut from coming in and out of the barbershop over the years. He said Nut was like a great tipper. He cut his hair a couple times. He said anytime Nut came in a barbershop, Nut would pay for everybody's hair to get cut in there. So Nut was a community guy. You know, he was like my age. He was only 2 years older than me. But Nut was a guy that probably learned from a lot of old school guys, like just like I learned from like older guys. So a lot of I act a little bit older than I really am. Nut was like that. When you go get you some money, however you get it, any type of way you get it, you put it in the community. You go build relationships in the community and you make, you know what I'm saying? You do the Robin Hood thing, as they call it. Some people call it that, you know what I'm saying? You call it what you want, but Nut was doing that. So he was a man of the people. His community loved him. You understand what I'm saying? So Derek Wise said he would come in there, pay for everybody's haircut, whether he knew him or not. Everybody in there, he would pay for their haircut, right? So he pretty much said, yeah, that night he came in and he went out because Mr. George told him he had to move his truck. So he moved it to the next parking lot. And then Mr. Wise said within 10 minutes, his car started to get shot. They all started getting shot. He said it probably wasn't even 10 minutes. And I don't doubt that. The reason I don't doubt it is because when we watched that video of the surveillance video, they got out, they start the video. The beginning of it is at like 8:00 on the dot. Right around like 8 minutes and like 30 to 50 seconds, that's when the shooting happened. So Mr. Derek Wise's memory of the incident is extremely vivid. You know, for him to know that, this was like less than 10 minutes, and it was like he was within a minute and a half correct from something that happened 9 years ago, like that's an extremely vivid memory right there. And that anybody who sees something traumatic like that, it will be burned in your head. So it makes sense that he will remember it like that. Unlike brother Sammy Davis, who just was in there saying anything, he heard the stories over the years. Like somebody said, he just been hearing the stories over the years, and he just went and told the police and that's actually how a lot of jailhouse snitches happen. A lot of people, when they'll go in, they'll pop up as a witness in a trial and they'll say something like, yeah, we was in a cell together and he told me that he did it. A lot of times they have details about it because they have heard through just the grapevine or whatever, they heard what happened. So they know some information about it. And that's just because the streets talk. You understand? So that's how jailhouse snitching happened. Everybody that becomes a jailhouse snitch didn't see it. In the state, normally they don't care if you saw it or not. Are you going to come up here and help us convict this person? That's all they care about. Right? So Derek Wise is like, he was accurate, extremely accurate. So he came out the barbershop, he saw Nut on the ground, and the video shows that Derek Wise came out of the barbershop and he said Reverend was behind him, and that's exactly who was behind him. And they came, and then also, if y'all remember, we heard the 911 call a couple weeks ago, right? And everything that Derek Wise was saying, like, yeah, I approached, and they didn't play the 911 call for Derek Wise. When he said, I approached him and I asked him, where was he hit? Where was he shot at? And the Reverend started to tell him, hey, you got to fight. You got to fight. We heard that literally word for word on the 911 call a couple weeks ago. So like I said, Derek Wise's memory of this event is extremely sharp and vivid. Like he remembers it. So shout out to him for not lying, but he was definitely like messed up about the incident. Like he was taking his time. He was getting choked up a little, but he didn't cry or nothing like that. But he was definitely having some moments where he had to pause because he remembers vividly what happened. Let me see what somebody just said here. Yeah, Rock Boy said the witnesses just destroyed 75% of this whole case. Facts, because this whole case is being brought forward because of this murder. That's what Fonnie Willis is pretty much like hinging this whole thing on. Hey, these people were murdering with impunity. And the whole thing was like, I promised Donovan Thomas's mom that I would get justice for her son. That was part of the press conference when they arrested YSL members. You understand what I'm saying? Is that we are going to get justice for Donovan Thomas and his mother and his family. That was this whole thing. So this is what this whole case is essentially about. And y'all evidence is Sammy Davis that washed cars at the barbershop. Come Come on, man. Hey, make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Thanks for viewing. Okay, let's get on to the next superstar witness. Star witness, Reginald Hendricks. He was actually one of the people out there. He was actually one of the people that got shot that night. He got shot in the back, and I think he was hitting a kidney, right? So he was there. He was one of Nut's friends, good friends. He said he grew up with him, you know, and now I could kind of go through this one essentially kind of fast because a lot of the stuff he was describing the area and what was going on, what we saw in the video and all that. But he wasn't on the stand that long, so we can get to the meat and potatoes, which is he's the first person on the stand to say Nut was actually shooting back. He actually put a time on how long this event happened. So, and I could skip forward because he had to repeat some of this information. Reggie, who they call Reggie, he said that the shooting lasted around 20 seconds. Or he said the car stopped in front of them, in front of the barbershop for about 20 seconds, right? And that kind of like corroborates what Sammy Davis. So Sammy Davis was telling some truths, but we don't know if he actually seen it or if he heard what was going on, right? But he said he was at the gas station. So he could have saw some of it, but he just filled in the rest with like information, right? So he said it stopped in front of the joint for about 20 seconds. Sammy Davis said it also. The car did stop in front of the barbershop and start shooting while he was stopped. So according to what my man Reggie said, is that when they stopped in front of the barbershop, Nut was shooting back at them. He's the first person to say that. He's the first one to say Nut got the gun out and was actually shooting back, right? He also... they asked Sammy Davis, hey, was this an old model car or a newer model car that you seen? He was like, it was an old car for sure. Then we come over to Reggie, corroborated that also. He said, I don't even know if they asked him. Attorney Weinstein, Yak Gotti's attorney, asked him, are you sure it was a Pontiac? Are you just as sure that it was a Pontiac that these people were shooting out of? He said it was definitely a Bonneville. It was a gray Bonneville. The video corroborates that. We for sure see a gray car. And we got to get like back. I got to do some digging and get back into the details. Y'all let me know. Am I the only person that remembers the state asserting that Young Thug rented a white Toyota and that was what the shooting happened out of a white Toyota? Am I tripping? I didn't look this up. I need to go back because I thought I remembered them saying that the shooting happened out of a rental car that Young Thug rented and it was a white Toyota. I could be tripping, but that's what they said. That's what I thought they said. So I'm gonna do some digging. I'm gonna do some research. Maybe one of y'all already remember it, but do some research with me. Pretty sure they said it was a rental. Y'all can't be telling me that Young Thug rented a gray Bonneville. They telling me that Young Thug rented an old gray Bonneville? Is that what they trying to tell us? Oh, they said it was a Gray Infinity. Look, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm a little bit hazy on what type of car they said, but they definitely said that he rented a car and the shooting happened out of a rental. Young Thug didn't rent no gray Bonneville, old Bonneville. So we know that for a fact, right? We don't even got a question. But I'm going to go do some digging in the off season and we're going to figure out what car they said was rented. The video shows that it was a gray Bonneville. Multiple witnesses say it was an old car, and Reggie said it was definitely a gray Bonneville, right? A Kia Stinger. All right, let's play the clip, man. Let's play the clip of Reggie, and this is what I like about what Reggie said, and this is not anything other than Reggie is just trying to stick up for his guy, pretty much saying he didn't just go out and just lay there and die. He wanted to assert to Mr. Weinstein, no, he shot back at them. No, he definitely shot back. Like he was backing up, and he shot back. Let's play that clip. Let me play the clip first when he just talked about like Nut trying to go into the barbershop and somebody locking the door. That's sick to me. Let me play that real quick. Give me a second. Gonna lock the door on that man. Crazy.
He right at the barbershop. He was going in Nord barbershop. He was back. He shooting, but he going back. He going trying to get in the barbershop
To try to get the safety?
Right, try to get the safety.
Can you use this marker and just draw a big circle to the area that Nut ran to after the shooting?
Right here.
Did he ever make it inside the barbershop?
He shooting. He trying to open up, but somebody locked the door.
Now, did you ever did any medical personnel ever
Oh, hold on. This is another one.
come out to treat you that night?
I went to Grady. Basically everybody made up at Grady. I seen went on.
Okay, so
He right.
before I even go forward, this is another sick detail. Donovan Thomas was in critical condition at the scene. He wasn't immediately deceased at the scene. He didn't immediately die. First of all, Derek Wise, was it Derek Wise? I think it was Derek Wise. He said that it felt like paramedics took a very long time to get to the scene. He said the police came kind of quick, but the paramedics took a long time to get there. So they could have saved him if they would have came immediately. And then on top of that, Reggie said he got to the hospital before they got Nut to the hospital. So they not only did they take a long time to get there, then they took a long time to even get him to the hospital. They should have rushed him to the hospital. So they could have saved that man's life, and that's a sick thing that they would do that. Let me play the clip where he's talking to Weinstein about, shout out to whoever said it was an Infinity. I couldn't remember. It was definitely a different car. It wasn't a Bonneville. Let me see. Rock Boys for Life, I agree 100%. I'm not even going to repeat it, but I agree. And that's what I'm saying. He look, he took that money to do what he had to do. He took the money, right? And then he immediately went to them people and said, hey, Thug was involved with this. It was Thug, right? So that's a sick situation right there. And that's what pretty much this whole case is being hinged on, this person. All right, listen to what my man Reggie said.
Sir,
What's your degree of certainty that it would stop for around 20 seconds?
it paused. The car just stopped where it was going. They already know what they target was.
I understand. How certain are you of that?
I was standing right there.
Okay. Is that the same degree of certainty you have with the respect to you're saying that Mr. Thomas shot back?
They shot first.
I understand they shot first. Are you just as certain that Mr. Thomas shot back as you are that it paused for around 20 seconds?
Just put it like this. When they shot him first, he got a chance to shoot his gun too. So when he's showing as he's spitting blood up.
Because you're standing right there, correct?
Yeah, I'm right there. He's showing as he's spitting blood up. He getting his shots off too.
Okay. Is that your same degree of certainty that it was a Pontiac?
It was a Bonneville.
Okay. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Gray, y'all heard him add that piece of detail at the end. It was a Bonneville. Gray, I'm certain. I was standing right there. I know this is how, like, we talking about somebody that's his childhood friend. He had to watch fight for his life, shooting back as he's trying to get into a barbershop that somebody just locked, spitting up blood. This is a graphic way to see your friend die. You got to remember, Reggie Hendricks was a street dude, right? Now, did y'all just see? I don't know if my video was big enough for y'all to really see it. This man was only 2 years older than Nut. Nut was born in 88, so this man would have been born in 86. He's only right now 38 years old. Did y'all see how old he looked, right? When he was in court? This is the type of stuff black men and people who observe black men. This is the type of stuff that happens to us when we go through these type of traumatic things. We start to fall apart. Our outward appearance starts to match our emotional state. You can see that in our man, Reginald, right? Reginald Hendricks. He's only 38 years old, depending on if his birthday came or not. He's only 38 years old. Only 2 years older when this happened, he was only 28. He was only, he was only 2 years older than Nut, right? He looked a lot older than what he actually is. And that's what stress will do to you. You can try to cope. You could try to do all these things to try to get around it, but it will eat you. You understand what I'm saying? So You know what I'm saying? When we see these traumatic things, you got to find some way to work it out, work through it. Don't just, I'm assuming that drugs took hold. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know him personally. I'm just saying they look like they was all standing outside pretty fresh together. They all had good coats on, good hats on, good all that. Everybody was cool, and Nut was the man, and they was affiliated and standing there with Nut. And then that happens, and he's watching his friend shoot back, fight for his life as he's spitting blood out. And then he dies on the street. That'll do something to you. So, and we see the effects of that, because that man shouldn't, he was looking like Sammy Davis up there, and I'm not gonna call him a fiend or nothing like that. He sounded like he had his faculties in order. It's just, like I said, that stress is gonna come out. That stress is going to come out.